Hi there. Welcome to today's Time for All Ages from the Abraham Lincoln Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Springfield, Illinois. I'm Pat Woods, your Director of Religious Education, and today I have a story to tell you that started 60 years ago. Well, it started a little earlier than that, actually. It's the story of Ruby Bridges, a young lady who started something remarkable when she was only 6 years old. Now, I don't know about all of you, but I don't remember a whole lot from when I was 6. What I do remember was my Aunt Irene had just read me the most wonderful book called Old Bones, the Wonder Horse. I was just beginning to go to school at Lafayette Grade School in Jacksonville, Illinois, and I was a little scared about that, but I knew that I had a lot of friends there. Ruby Bridges didn't have a lot of friends waiting for her when she went to school. As a matter of fact, she got to school after she took a test. She was one of a number of African American students in New Orleans who took a test to find out whether or not she could attend a white school. People say that the test was really difficult, and it was written so that the African American students would have a hard time passing. Well, she passed the test, and so she was allowed to go to the white school, but of course her parents were concerned that there might be trouble. The US government was concerned that there might be trouble as well, and they decided that in order to make sure that things could be safe, they'd bring in federal marshals to protect the children. And so what happened was two of the marshals walked in front of Ruby when she went to school, and two of them walked behind her. It was awful. There are reports that say that there were large crowds of people that were gathered there, and they were screaming and throwing things. There were barricades set up. There were policemen everywhere. And the other interesting thing was almost all the white parents kept their children home that day, so classes really weren't held. The second day of school wasn't any better for Ruby. There was only one teacher who had agreed to teach her, and that was Barbara Henry. And the students who should have been in Ruby's class weren't there because their parents had pulled them, not wanting them to be in the same class with an African American child. And this went on for a full year, where it was just Henry and Bridges working on Bridges' lessons. And there were other things that happened too. There was one time a woman actually threatened to poison Ruby. There was another time when a woman showed a black doll in a wooden coffin and hinted that if Ruby kept coming to school, bad things would happen to her. But you know what? Ruby Bridges kept coming to school. Her mother encouraged her to be strong and pray while she was going on, and Bridges found that she had the courage to continue to go to the school. At 6 years old, isn't that remarkable? Well, Ruby Bridges made it through that very difficult first year and the difficult years that followed, and through her adult life has worked as a community activist to promote tolerance, respect, and appreciation of differences. She has a foundation, the Ruby Bridges Foundation, its goal is to end racism and prejudice. I love its motto. Its motto says, "Racism is a grown-up disease, and we must stop using our children to spread it." So as we reflect upon what Ruby Bridges did 60 years ago, at 6 years old, I hope we keep in mind that it doesn't really matter how old we are. We can all work for justice at any age. So in memory of Ruby, let's make sure that we do exactly that. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.